Hello guys! Welcome everybody to Mando Monday. This is the series where you guys ask the questions and I, of course, answer them. This can be to do with anything related to Counter-Strike Global Offensive, CSGO, or now CS2 investing, and anything current or future update related. If that's the Paris 75% off sale, the beta or possibly full launch of CS2, the Steam Summer Sale, and much more. If you guys have any questions regarding any of that we just discussed or something else you have in mind, leave it down below this comment section or any other one of my videos, Ask Mando, then ask your question. It's usually easiest and best for me to find it that way. As it goes for this week, I know we are a little late to the party. One, this is on Tuesday, but also we missed last week, which I am currently still moving, but the good news is it should be done pretty soon. We'll touch on that in the PSA. Right after that, we'll have the questions, but before any of that, here's a quick word from today's video sponsor. Now, today's video sponsor is SkinsMonkey. SkinsMonkey is a trading site for your CSGO skins. It's one of the easiest and safest ways to swap out your inventory for something new. Extra cash on every trade gets added to your balance. It also has a 30% deposit bonus. And if you use the link in the description or use my code MANDO in two different ways, one which adds 5%, totaling out to $35 for your deposit bonus. And if you're a first-time user, you can get up to a free $5 on your first trade. They also have a freebies tab where you can enter giveaways for free. If interested, it'll be the top of the link in the description below. So as it goes for a quick PSA, sorry guys, I'm still in the process of moving. The microphone probably doesn't sound right. The background's probably a little whack. I haven't even planned where I'm doing that yet. I've recorded some videos in my truck, which has been a little bit of a pain. I have about another 3 weeks until I'm fully into an office and everything completely set up. Now it could be a little bit worse, where CS2 is fully out, there's an open beta, and I can't access it. So right now we're okay. I gotta say thank you guys so much for the recent support on the videos that we've been putting out. Hasn't been much, but the quality's definitely there versus the quantity. We're also very close to 20,000 subscribers, which we are doing a pretty big giveaway for then. And I also want to do another one next week. And if we hit 20K by then, well, I guess we'll have to overlap the two. More about that later in the video. I also want to touch on the Steam Summer Sale. This is apparently in 2 days and 22 hours, so very close to 3. I don't think personally this is really going to affect much on the Steam market. This isn't 2016 to 17 anymore, where people are complete idiots and will sell things for very cheap prices. And also with how many people are playing the game now, most people know not to sell or buy specific items at those times. But if you've been meaning and wanting to go in at a cheaper price, you have the Paris sale and you also have the Steam Summer Sale. So these probably are going to be the lowest they'll be until we get an operation, which I don't think is going to be anytime soon. Now let's hop into the juicers of questions. Our first question up here is from Luke. Do you think Buff and other sites will be banned/closed? So a quick summary and follow up to this question. For those of you who don't know, a couple weeks ago, I guess a month at this point, I made a video and Steam also updated their online code of conduct, which is essentially like their terms of service, what you can and can't get banned for. They added a lot of things such as smurfing in CS matchmaking, as well as obviously like cheating, but also they added gambling as a bannable offense now. Now CS skins and trading, as well as gambling, has always been in a very gray area, but that kind of solidified it just a little bit more. People haven't been specifically targeted or banned for gambling, but it's something I would not have my API linked to a website on. It's something I also wouldn't do or really condone, especially in Counter-Strike. I'm not telling you to remove your API from those said websites, but I know a lot of people who have. I have completely changed mine as of a little while ago, because just in case I was a few years ago or whenever, I'm now not linked to those. As it goes for specific sites closing, it's definitely possible, but right now I don't think so. And the main one you asked about is Buff. Absolutely not. Valve has put a lot of their own money into this website, and if anything, I think Buff will be one of the last standing marketplaces, if there is any, in the next few years. And what I mean by that is I think there's a very good chance Steam will probably just launch their own skins marketplace and store where you can buy and sell things for higher prices and even cash out in the next few years. Now that's a stretch and that's a big what if, but that's just my thoughts and how well Valve could be really smart with that. But if we know from their history and their track record, they're not really. Now our next question up here is from Noob. We're just going to call you that. Would you invest into gloves before CS2 comes out? Now I'm going to use this as a more of a general question for everything, not just gloves. But for gloves, absolutely. There's a couple different things we have to look at. One of them being the big CS pump we just saw a few months ago that started in March, kind of ended the last month or so. I think that wave of CS hype isn't necessarily over. I just don't think we'll see one that crazy possibly ever again, where things go up from right here, what they are right now, which they already are up from 6 months ago, up the same amount they did before, which some things was 400, some things were 40%. But I do think things are going to rise like crazy. As long as Valve doesn't change anything with trading, ban any marketplaces, or do anything stupid, things should rise as per normal. We're going to get a lot more players, if probably more than ever before, than any other operation or update in the game, because it's a brand new game in the Counter-Strike franchise. So more players and older players players are going to want to pick up gloves, pick up knives, pick up cases, right, to unbox when this new game comes out. So the ideal thing to do would just be to buy those things now. And that's exactly what I'm doing and some other people are doing as well. So hopefully that answered your question. You're probably going to find the best deals right around now. Our next question up here is from Juggernaut. Do you think they will add utility / Kevlar vests since they have a loadout slot in CS2? So what you mean by this is I'm assuming customization, which we have touched on a couple of times. Right when CS2 came out, this was everyone's first thing they thought about. Also mainly because Gabe Follower found a bunch of emotes, taunts, whatever you want to call them, along with pet or chicken skins inside the game. There's also been a rumor that Counter-Strike might release on mobile. Now I think personally this will be a completely different game and not connected to the Valve servers. Skins won't have the same value because it would really inflate the market. Anything on mobile, especially if CS came to there, cases would be near extinct. Players want to open them like crazy, which makes me think they'd add a completely different system for that specifically. But with the way CS2 and just the game is right now, where we're headed, customization for your character or agent in the game is imminent. I think more patch slots will be eventually available, but I also think most importantly, they'll add a bunch more so you can have more customization to your character with your Kevlar vest, possibly shoes you're wearing, maybe even your hat. Now this I think will be added over time and not at the very beginning of CS2's release, as they're probably just going to try and fix all the bugs, but maybe the very first operation will probably see something a little bit new towards this. Now our next question up here is from Rookie, and he says, what is your favorite weapon candidate to get a rework / buff? Now I've had some very hard thinking on this. I thought about the R8 and I was like, you know what, it's probably going to get buffed anyway. I would like to see the R8 get a little bit buffed where it's on par with the Deagle. People could use either or, wouldn't really complain. They have their pros and cons. I would also say the op. Kind of sounds stupid, but that 5-bullet update really affects oppers. It affects me when I play, and I'm not really a huge fan. I like to just not reload the mag whatsoever, but it does make it a little more fun with the challenging side of things with it. You can't do as many wall bangs. That's where I'm kind of, not really having the most fun there. So to answer your question is SMGs. Now this is probably going to be a little bit controversial, and it would be very hard for Valve to do because they'd pretty much have to rework the entire economy like how they had it a few years ago. Now a few years ago, the UMP was pretty good. Some may say a little too good, and it was a pretty used weapon. But when they rearranged the economy and also nerfed that a little bit, it wasn't as good anymore, neither really any of the SMGs. Now people do use the MAC-10, especially the MP9, it's pretty nice, but those are really scenario, situational based weapons you'd use. MP9 right now, if you're not buying it on an eco round, you're buying it on one of the last rounds when you're dropping your friend an op and you're buying some util and an MP9 to max out. I just want to see the SMGs viable and used a little bit more and be a little more fun to see. You have an SMG round or maybe a few rounds like that, and then you move on to your rifles. But I could completely see why people would hate that and just wouldn't want that in the game. If it ain't broke, don't fix, and that's exactly what I think Valve is doing. If there was one weapon or weapon category you would want to get buffed or completely reworked, leave it down below. Now our next question up here is from Adren, and he asked, is it time to buy or sell some investments? Now firstly, I want to note that I actually wasn't going to include this in the video. The reason I did is because I think it's important to talk about selling and taking some profit. And that's exactly that. Don't be greedy and take some profit. Right now is a really weird time in CS. We've never seen prices this high before. Yes, the player count has increased, but it doesn't really make up for all these prices going up the way they have been. If you've been holding on to a lot of items as an investment since 2021, 2022 with Operation Riptide, time to consider selling some of those and just moving on to something new. Don't be greedy and just take the profit while you can. That's my advice, and from something I've learned as well. Many other people could probably tell you in the comment section too. As it goes for buying, it's just like any other time. Only put in what you can afford to lose. Now our next question up here is something I actually really enjoy, opinion on what to do with unboxed Paris stickers. My options are sell immediately, hold, sell, then rebuy at a certain time. So I like this question, but you are a little late to the party, as am I for this one too. So when you unbox a Paris sticker right now, I would probably sell immediately. As it goes for the cheaper side of things, a lot of these cheaper stickers aren't going to go up for a very long time. If they do, if Valve does this like any other year, they're going to announce the removal, and that'll last a week, so people are going to buy them up even more, therefore lowering the prices because the supply is going to go up and the demand is eventually going to diminish. And you might be holding on to some of these to make a good profit for the next couple of years when you can just sell them right now. Now I will say you're pretty much doing gamba when you're unboxing these, which do that at your own will. It's fine and fun to unbox a couple cases on CS every once in a while, but I wouldn't go all out hoping you can profit. That's just not going to happen. But for what I would do right now, I definitely would just sell in general. If you have a couple stickers that you haven't really put a whole bunch of money into specifically for the capsules, you put $5 in, you get a gold, you get a really nice holo. You could hold on to it for the next little while, but I think a lot of people would just say end up selling. Our next question up here is from Empire, and it's something I actually talked about in CSGO News, so go check it out a little bit more in depth. Why did Stockholm and Antwerp stickers go up in price after the sale? Shouldn't it be the opposite? So after the 75% off sale hit for Paris, what normally happens for every other year for stickers and just some liquid items like cases, they usually go down in price because everyone sells those to buy and invest in the newer items. But specifically this year, it hasn't been the case. Stockholm and Antwerp, instead of going down, they went up. The mouse sticker was $12 to $13, went all the way up to $20. Now it's lowering down to $15, and to answer your question, it's pretty much FOMO and a little bit of stupidity, I think, in there as well. Now the thing that's holding these these 2 years worth of major stickers together is the rarity. They're pretty rare and they're also in demand, but the only downside is now you have Paris that looks extremely similar. That just pretty much crushed that. Something like Mouse from 2021, that is the holo, it looks very similar, if not better. Some may say a little more cartoony in Paris, but it's for a fraction of the price. It is only going to get cheaper. And I don't see someone picking up the Stockholm version over the Paris for, double or triple the amount. And I think what we're seeing right now in the market is what we're going to continue to see over the next couple of months, where prices just start going down and lower and lower. But I mainly think it's just FOMO. People don't want to miss out on this hype train again, when realistically people have to coop that it's just never going to happen again the same way it did when these stickers first came out. Our last question / comment up here from Mando Monday is in regard to CS2 skins. An in-depth video on what is new with CS2 skins would be pretty sweet. So I did touch on this a couple commentaries ago, where I'm gonna do a whole workshop, showcase, and also explain with a couple of books on how CS2 versus CSGO skins are made. And to briefly answer this in this video, there's actually a pretty big difference. So CSGO, it's actually all drawing based. It's all mind manipulation, essentially, making you think something is 3D when realistically it's not. And the capabilities with CS2, well, it doesn't have the restrictions that the Source 1 engine did. It's completely different. So instead of a drawing, they can actually make 3D items. So keychains would be pretty easy to do. Here's some examples of what these will look like. We also have the brand new weapon models as well, you have to keep in mind. So they're gonna look different either way if they were on CSGO versus CS2. Pretty interesting to see, and if you guys want a video like that as well, leave it down below, as well as any questions you may have for next week's video. Now, how you can enter the giveaway, it's pretty simple. All you have to do is comment down below and leave your Steam ID, and not leave any links to anything. We'll randomly draw a comment from this video in a week's time with a comment picker. As it goes for what we're giving away specifically, I'm not 100% sure. Probably some Stockholm 2021 crafts from Copenhagen Flames, as well as some stickers and capsules alongside that. The same requirements go for my 20K giveaway. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode of Mando Monday. I know I sure did. I'm glad to be back, and hopefully in the next month or so, we'll be in a regular, normal setup, so this sounds and looks a little more normal. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay positive, stay sexy. I'm out, guys. Peace.